Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Guilaine Menefee, and I'm for your show. Today, our Connecticut hidden gem and small business hails from Middletown, Connecticut. They are a dynamic duo indeed. Founders are a Hispanic female and an African American male. They call themselves Rejecks. They use apparel and comic books for a powerful message to our youth and adults that being different is okay and to have acceptance of who you are. Their products even tackle important issues like bullying. This tag team is a special combo and fits our theme today, creative partnerships. Please welcome in our studio, Stephanie Sandoval and Chad Milling. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. How you doing?
So, Rejecks.
Yes.
Tell us about Rejecks. Tell us about the name. Tell us about the company.
So Rejects started off as especially the word a lot of people ask us is it seems so negative, but
Right.
we actually did the opposite. What we wanted to do was turn rejects into a positive word. We even changed the text, we changed kind of the influence of it, and we also changed the typography of it. So we wanted rejects to stand for people that are considered losers, freaks, geeks, people that don't feel valued. So we wanted that to be a positive representation.
And basically make it into, like Steph said, negative into a positive. We wanted kids to feel empowerment with the word and just feel comfortable and see something that they could kind of relate to and say, hey, listen, I'm going through a negative time in my life, but I'm going to change into a positive. So.
I love what you do with how you project your message. And you do it through, I think, two things that folks most of the time can relate to. Clothes.
Yes.
And you use comic books.
Yes.
We actually have, I'm going to put that up on the screen for everybody, their comic book. Talk to us about the type of experience that a kid is going to have reading your comic books, especially with this message that you have for them.
Yeah, they're going to be able to see the two characters by the name of Sarah Blaze and Ty Chillings, their journey through high school, how they are different, how they were bullied at certain situations, certain moments in their life, and how they're able to overcome that. Not only are they going to be able to overcome that, but they're going to be innovators, leaders for another group of students. And they're going to show them how to deal with their situation, and they're going to be able to just basically preach the word of being innovators, being different is cool, and just be able to lead on their own. So, yeah.
And then clothes. You
Yes.
are wearing and rocking your
Yes.
gear, which I love.
Yes.
I actually want to steal that shirt. But tell us about the apparel, because funny enough, even though your message, everything you just talked about, seems more strongly geared towards youth,
Yes.
one of the things we talked about is that actually adults have taken to your apparel.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
So it started off actually as an apparel line. So
Okay.
me and Chad are huge t-shirt collectors. We are big advocates on especially entrepreneurs that do t-shirts, especially ones that are creative. So we started with the apparel, and then we started with this R that ended up being this iconic symbol for everyone that recognizes the R. And then we moved on to creating two characters, and Chad decided to come up with this comic book. So we utilized everything that we kind of created and put it all in the comic and the apparel and connected it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and you brought some other stuff, because you have an online store where your shirts can be found, your comic books. I think you have school bags, right?
Yes.
So
Can we see a little bit of that as well?
So we just got these in. It's our Reject school bag.
Awesome.
I'll put it up here. And it's cool because it actually has representation of our comic book. Yeah, we wanted to kind of pay homage to our artist too, Matt Ryan. So, and inside we have like a couple of T-shirts and gears that we did have. We have a Face Your Fear series, which is Chad and I love pop culture, but we wanted to kind of represent our characters through horror stuff. But with the reality of we don't go through facing your fear the way horror movies and pop culture. We have things like bullying, suicide, anxiety,
all
bad
of
grades.
these real important topics that have been so influential and especially with the teenagers. You guys are connecting with high school students, right. New Britain, right. Fairfield yes. County. How have they received you, and what has that meant for the company?
The reception we got from the kids was good, very positive. Mm-hmm. Of course, they liked the apparel. The comic book helped. Like, they were really surprised that we did the comic book, because you don't really see apparel mm-hmm. lines do comic books, so that kind of helped us stand out. New Britain has definitely been one of the big supporters for us. Mm-hmm. We've been able to go to the talent shows, speak to the kids. They wore our shirts in the talent shows and stuff like that. We went to Fairfield to alternative school and talked to those kids, which they kind of related to us. Stephanie and I had similar situations that they were going through that mm-hmm. we were able to basically have a talk about and tell them how we were able to overcome some of the situations.
Yeah, it probably bonds the kids, can relate to you.
Yes.
You've mentioned, Chad, that you found that there were high school students that were coming up to you to talk about how the power of these awesome comic books here, just what you stand for, right. has meant to them and has affected them.
Right.
Yeah, even our artist, the one that made the Face Your Fear mm-hmm. series, who's an amazing artist, mm-hmm. like I said, you kind of see the confidence within just their company that kind of, it wakes people up. It's like, oh wait, they're doing that. So it sends like a message to stay creative, keep motivating yourself.
That's right.
So. And not only were we able to, the kids love the designs, but they love the message. That's the thing that motivates Stephanie and I the most, is they're able to, say, hey, listen, I love your message. I want to get to know this, your brand more, and that's the cool thing about the whole thing.
Yeah, I am so optimistic and really motivated when I hear that you have such a creative way mm-hmm. of delivering what needs to be the messages and mm-hmm. the pitches that need to go out to these high school students. And you use superheroes. I love that. Yeah. I mean, hey, the superheroes now are taking over where the Disney princesses left off. But again, what a creative way mm-hmm. of giving such powerful messages.
Right.
Definitely. Right. I think, too, is you see even as women, we're rising up, and we love that we can have a female and a male duo.
That's right.
And be at the same pace.
Yes.
And we're going through our same things. So it's great to have that representation.
Yeah. Thank you. And we're going to continue with this. We had some time, spent some time, real good time with the School of Rejecks duo here. Their team led us into their creative space in Middletown, Connecticut. So we're going to be back to show exactly how that looked and feel, and a little bit more of why they are a creative partnership. Mm-hmm. We'll be right back. So I love this studio. It has so much imagery, creativity, cultural icons that I think a lot of folks would relate to. You use this like a lot of entrepreneurs that are starting off. We talked about being cost effective, so this is so cool. You've turned your office here at home. Talk about what you do here. What is that process like when you are making a shirt or a comic book?
It's madness.
Yes.
Because we want to do so much, so we try to do like our videos here. We usually have a green screen set up, and we do our marketing in here, and then we do our shirts online. I'll edit videos here. Like once we're done with the green screen, we'll go to like our computer and doing the editing and everything like that.
It goes back to time management. So we'll say like, all right, Steph, from this time to this time we'll do YouTube video.
Yeah.
And then this time we'll do the shirt designs.
Yeah.
And then we try to end off, pretty much like where are we going to go next, for the next meeting, whether it's just creative piece or letting us know we're going to do something with finance.
So Steph, I know that you lead the company from an administrative perspective and technology perspective. Walk us through a little bit of what exactly you are doing on that computer.
I'm sitting there all day, every day. But I'm pretty much just editing, using a lot of the softwares like Photoshop. I'll go on the website and do the inventory, create the shirt. I'll go on iMovie, or I'll try Final Cut. So it's pretty much doing the editing, doing all the magic that goes within all the videos and marketing that we do, create the flyers, create everything that goes on our social media. So.
And Chad, for the comic books, how does that process look like?
I give Steph a packet. I have a packet, and we go through basically you break down the character, and she literally gives me you know, if it's her character, she gives me everything. There's a whole description of the character, and I try to put that in the comic book.
Everything.
Everything.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about from what their favorite food is. Do they smoke? Do they not smoke? What do they do? Like everything.
Is it like a profile?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Each character.
Yeah. Everyone. So it's
Microsoft Word's used a lot.
Yeah. Exactly. And then I'll put that into the comic book and use that for our characters. So. Yeah.
He'll write and I'll do editing.
Yes.
So.
And then we go back and forth with our artists. And you know, he shows us the actual layout of how it's going to be with our comic books. Yeah.
So even though this is a creative service, technology is so big for you.
Yeah. It's done everything. Yeah. Our phone has done. I think we've gone through like 2 phones each because we've done.
It takes a lot of storage.
Phone.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
iPhone.
Yeah.
That's Apple.
Okay.
Storage takes a lot. So, but we have gone through our phones a lot.
Yeah.
But it's helped. Definitely helped big time for our followers, our marketing, everything. So people know us basically off of that.
Marketing is such a big piece. You have so many dynamic ways because you have a multifaceted suite of products that folks can connect with Rejecks, comic books, apparel. What do you do to really stay on top of the marketing you have to do when you have so many products?
We adapt with the culture when it comes to technology because when we first started, it was first marketing the t-shirts. And then we realized social media was there. We had Snapchat, we had Twitter, Instagram. I had to learn it and then teach Chad. And then we had to move up a level where it was like, all right, now live feed, now this, now Snap. Like it was crazy how much we had to learn.
There's so much out there right now. How do you keep up?
Yeah, and we went from doing social media and then we said, all right, let's put up our game and do comic books. Yeah. And then we did.
The main thing is always trying to be different from everybody else that's marketing. One of the guys we met, Tony, We Are Micro, he specifically told us, you know, the thing I've always seen about businesses that hurt them is they always do the same thing as the other business. The businesses that do really well when it comes to apparel and clothing is the ones that separate themselves.
That's right.
So we said, how are we going to separate ourselves? And the way we did it was implement what we like, what we want to do with our stuff, and so the comic book was one of them. Steph was sooner or later, soon we'll be doing the children's book. So stuff like that, we want to kind of just separate ourselves from just a regular apparel.
Yeah, we did YouTube. We dabbled into YouTube thinking like, this is going to be easy videotaping. We were like, we had to learn how to like write scripts. We had to the lighting. We learned about the camera. We learned like I think it's us just teaching ourselves this stuff so that we kind of do everything ourselves. Because I know we could pay someone, but when you're an entrepreneur, you don't really have all the funds.
No, but that's powerful and that's good for folks to know. You are doing what small business owners and just new entrepreneurs should do, right? You learning and you're teaching yourself, right? When you may not have the funds to outsource and get somebody else to come in, that is the best way to grow as you learn it yourself.
Yeah, there's also stuff like too, you know, some of the stuff you see on our website. We want schools to actually have in their schools. So like we have a clock, a School of Rejecks clock. You know, for kids you see a clock. Stephanie and I talked about how we were able to read a clock because of television shows and stuff like that. So like, oh, okay, like so. And then we both saw a clock. We was like, oh, we should put that into our actual apparel or our actual products in our website. So stuff like that, we try to think, you know, outside the box.
We do eggs. We like to do because I know especially with comic books because of Chad, you have little eggs, and people who read comic books in like movies, you see things that you don't notice. We notice with our followers, they notice those little eggs within our Reject stuff because we put them behind the scenes. Yeah. So I think that's the cool part where we know when it's a real following and someone that genuinely is like a fan. So that's definitely a good marketing. Like,
and they'll hit us up with some comments like, hey, I saw that. I like that.
That's awesome.
That's how you actually get the real fans to stick with you, and that's cool.
You market as well in person. I think what we talked about before is what many of the business owners these days are defaulting to, which is the social media, and you have to, right? Because that's how everyone relates to each other now. But you do vendor fairs and you have in-school appearances. How has that worked for you?
Very well. For the kids, we've received a great response from them. We worked in Fairfield. That was actually kind of short notice a little bit, but when we went there, the kids were so happy to actually like talk to us and see us, and they didn't even let us finish our presentation. So like we actually had this whole conversation or a lecture about, not so much a lecture, but just like presenting our business, our business to them, and then they saw everything what we were doing and they could relate to it, and they were just like, okay, I want to ask a question, and then I want to ask a question. So we were like not even halfway through our lecture, and they was asking us questions.
They were tough questions.
Yeah.
So they asked about trademark, and we were like, "Whoa, we thought you were going to ask us about something about the
trademarking to
like,
designs.
So do you have a lawyer?" I'm like, "Yeah, we."
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But they were tough questions, but they were good questions, and the teacher's response was the best because she said that was the first time they've ever had a response like that. Like,
the engagement.
That's great.
The engagement was very high. Yeah. So,
that's great. And you would think that just because it's comics, it's just the kids. However, I know you also have a following from adults as well. Right. And what's that engagement? What are they coming to Rejecks for?
Our shirts in the beginning, and I'm going to say this, it's the fit life people. They love the feel of the shirts.
Okay.
We like to work out in it. We got a lot of working out videos and pictures. Or like we can't post a lot.
So like a fitness competitor like me would love your shirts?
Because it's comfortable.
Okay.
Everybody says this, they sleep in it. They work out in it.
That's
wear it all
awesome.
the time.
Sometimes I question, it's been 2 years, like, should you replace it?
Yeah. But they love it, and that's actually good to know. Like, people love our shirts.
Different ages. It's good. Like, I saw, like, someone give it to their grandmother, and it was cool to have the dynamic in our Instagram. Because everything, sometimes I notice with apparel, there's an age range of fashion. There's always those professional photos with the beautiful people, but I think with Rejects you have such a variety of different people, wearing the shirts. That's the whole point, being different. So.
And you're marketing now not only your shirts, but you guys started school bags, right?
Yes.
We have
the book bags is
finally.
Something that we were very high on this year.
School gear.
Yeah. Notebooks, school clocks, book bags. Those are something, like, again, we wanted the kids to actually have that in the school. The book bag was something that we love because, I mean, what kid, doesn't love a book bag? These days, we wanted to have the kids to actually have our symbol on the book bag and wearing it every day in school proudly. So.
And I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I know that you utilize a full range of social media platforms. Which one has been the most effective for your business? Instagram, okay. And can you tell us why?
I think it's to be honest, you know how a kid likes to read a book for the pictures?
Yeah.
Instagram is such a pictorial social media. You rather look at it for 2 seconds and you just keep gazing and gazing and gazing. I think that's why Instagram is such a great.
Right.
You just keep going. You just look at pictures the whole time. So
you see the picture first, then read the comment.
15-second video or something like that. Yeah.
So I know that even though everyone uses social media, there's a difference when you use social media for your personal use and to chat and tag your friends. But utilizing it and maximizing it for business is a completely just different ballpark. I'm sure you know, especially like we talked about before, you have so many products. Can you give some advice to our entrepreneurs that are watching about how they should think about social media and maximizing it for their business?
I think learning, kind of doing the research. You know, me and Chad both said research is a big thing for us. Researching what you want to do first, like make a plan and brainstorm what social media is going to be better for you. Some people are better with Snapchat, some people are better with Instagram, some people are great with Facebook. It's how you use your program, and I think studying it, because your phone can do so much.
Okay.
People don't understand.
Kind of understanding your audience.
Yeah.
Really understanding your audience, age range to, maybe, for us, we see like New Britain is a very high community. So, but another community is not very high, so try to target that community the same way.
Okay.
So, it's just knowing your age, or knowing your actual demographic. That's the main thing. So, that really helps.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. So, Rejects is a little bit different as a small business, different in the aspect not only of your message, but the leadership between you two.
Right.
Yeah.
Dynamic of a male and female. So I'm sure you have gotten the questions, and I'd like to just understand a little bit more. You could help our viewers understand, what is it like to have a partnership, male and female? How has that impacted your business, how you talk, how you engage?
This is the honest part. Stephanie and I didn't really look at our partnership from the male and female perspective at first we just looked at creativity.
Yeah.
Like, we like the same things when it comes to creativity.
That's right.
Then through time we started to learn, like, okay, listen, she doesn't
She's
like
a
this.
girl,
She's a
you're a
female. I'm a man. I don't like this. So we have to pretty much we understand each other a little bit more than probably the same-sex couple. I would think we were pretty much, you know, it was a big learning process for us, but it worked out through the end because we both had the same mindset that we wanted this business to take off. So we learned through time that, hey, listen, this works for us, this doesn't work for us. Some of the stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis is, you know, people come up to us and say, hey, listen, you know, you guys are a male and female partnership. Is that really working out for you guys? And you have to tell them, like, yeah, it is. Like,
you have a commonality,
exactly.
which is creativity.
They think, you know, it's a relationship, or they think
We're
it's more than
married,
no,
like,
it's nothing like that. It's just strictly partnership, friendship.
For question our sexuality, they think I'm gonna say they say I'm a lesbian or this. I'm like, I'm not.
But I think though, Stephanie, when we talked, you talked to me about some of the impacts it can have, or some of the tweaks you've seen with customer engagement, and the assumption that sometimes Chad is
I'm the assistant. So I mean, I get that a lot. I understand that, but in a weird way, it's like I wish the focus was both of us. Like they'll go for him for like if a collaboration, or they'll go to him for questions or this or the technology. Like they don't realize that we're a team, that we do this both together. There's some things he can answer, some things I can answer, but I think it's a difficulty too to kind of get that engagement, even with our race. Even like
that's right.
Taking us seriously as being Latino and Black. It's so hard sometimes that you're just trying to be like, we are very educated. You know, we can engage in a corporate world and also in a creative world. So it's possible. So, and
I think the creative part too is different. That's what's so attractive to me about School of Rejecks, and why I really wanted to show you and display you for this BBA show, because you are different. Not only do you preach that, but to have a Black male and a Hispanic female as the business owners, I think is cool, and it's different. And again, something that we need to show that, yes, us minorities can be in the creative space.
We can wear t-shirts and ties and high heels.
Yeah, but no, we appreciate it. You know, we really love this, and
we're learning too as a partner. Like we both had to learn, you know, especially when we have outside relationships or family, we both had to learn and balance that out. And I think we were saying sometimes being selfish sometimes.
That's right. You talked about how sometimes as the entrepreneur you have to balance those priorities.
We definitely learned definitely over the past year, you know, definitely
economically, everything we've learned. We had to like clean up and you know, manage our kind of our time too, because we have 24 hours to do all of this.
And sometimes some good and bad, right? I think we talked about before that choosing this path and this journey, it's not an easy choice, and sometimes can alienate you even with family and friends, folks that, you know, might be your support system.
Whether it's your job, family, making time out for the business is all something that you have to definitely work on your time management with, and your time.
And work. We also work other than doing rejects, so it's like balancing 40-hour jobs or 60-hour jobs, and the rest is rejects time. So that's definitely something we're pursuing.
What would you say to our viewers, folks, that to hear that type of reality, which I'm glad that we're talking about, because entrepreneur lifestyle and journey can be very sexy and sensational, but some of those harsh realities about the engagement that it forms now with your friends and family, or even the stigma that we talked about in terms of the view that they may have of you as business owners, especially one male and one female. What would be some things to let other maybe new entrepreneurs know about coming into this lifestyle, and how to think about this when it comes to their support system and the people that they may work with?
Stay motivated. Make sure you know what your end goal is. Like, stay focused. I think if you really know your niche and you know what you want it, I think you can make that balance and kind of hone in on like you know, your work schedule and your personal life. I know it's been hard, but I think meditation's also great.
Yeah.
Another chat exercise, but I think if you're able to manage that, it will help you on your entrepreneurship.
Plan, definitely plan. Plan ahead, 3 steps ahead, definitely. But yeah, definitely do that, and understand that you're gonna lose some friends, maybe some family members, but you know, if you really want this, you will do whatever you can to sacrifice and get it done. So, you know, we have lost some friends, so, and family, not family so much, I think.
Yeah, we've lost things, but I think in the perspective is we've gained like something better for our company.
Yeah.
It keeps us kind of like creative in a sense where we keep coming up with ideas. Every time we lose someone, we can put it in our comic book. Yeah. So we'll add something into that. So.
But we stay motivated, like you said, and that's the one thing that's always been the positive. You know, there's been times where we deal with a situation, we're very upset, but something like our artists giving their comic book sketches and stuff like that and telling us, hey, I'm pretty much done with your comic book, that's a very motivating thing for us. And it shows us that we continue to keep going because, you know, yes, we deal with something in our personal lives, but, you know,
we keep each other motivated. That's a good thing about having a male and the partnership. Is like if I'm down, Chad's picking me up. If he's down, he's picking me up.
Absolutely, it's better than one. Everything's better than one, right? Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Well, I am so happy to see what you guys are doing, what you stand for, and that you're pushing through as a dynamic small business. Like we like to focus and shine on this show are the gems in Connecticut. So the one thing I'll just leave with is a shirt.
Actually, you're leaving with more. So you're gonna get a shirt.
Awesome. So you promise
Yes.
I'm gonna fall asleep in this, and
Yes, you will.
this is so awesome.
This is our it inspired shirt. So it's us with the actual element of it, and it's facing your fear, like everyday society. So we made it.
Yes.
And
This
then
is so
everyone gets a
awesome.
Everybody else gets a comic book.
Yeah.
So here you go. This is our first issue comic book. There you go. And there you go. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that segment we had with School of Rejecks. For today's show, which we're theming as creative partnerships, and they do have a very creative partnership. Thank you guys again for being here with us in our studio. So what is next for Rejects? We heard so many great things, apparel, comic books, getting into the schools. What is the next thing for Rejects?
Continue to get into schools, continue to work with schools, guess work on that. Comic book, of course, continue to bring more issues for our audience, build our social media, our audience with that as well.
Bringing more people to our actual YouTube.
Right.
We've been doing challenges, and we want to kind of show the dynamic of us meeting new people and networking and collaborating. So that would be fun.
That would definitely be fun.
Great, great. So one of the things that we do with everybody that's here is we talk about their thoughts as an entrepreneur. How do they capture perhaps what they can't see on the website, what perhaps they can't find in your comic books? What type of closing thoughts would you have for entrepreneurs that are watching you today?
I would say be open to new things. Be open to doing new things that are out of your comfort zone, because I know a lot of us don't want to try things, and you know me especially, but I think that's something as an entrepreneur you should do. Research and try new things.
No matter the situation, push through it. Push through it, push through it. There's gonna be a lot of challenges through the whole journey, but if it's all worth it and you believe in it, it'll all work out.
Great. And I don't know, but have you guys voted yet?
Today, right after we're going to vote.
Yes.
Yes, awesome.
And we want to make sure that we have a voice, especially as entrepreneurs. So the BBA, School of Rejects, we want to make sure that all of you viewers out there today, November 6th is election day, and we have some very important choices to make. So make sure that you go out there, if you haven't yet, to go to your local voting booth. But in the meanwhile, if you want to learn more about School of Rejects, you can go to their website at
www.rejects.com.
Awesome. And how can they reach you? Is there a phone number or maybe social media?
Yeah, yes. Social media. You can get us on, of course, Instagram. Yes. It's at School of Rejects. Twitter is going to be at Rejects Clothing. And our Rejects on Facebook is Rejects1.
Okay.
And our email address is we.r@schoolofrejects.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Chad and Stephanie. We have business owners like these that come to actually BBA events, and we have a couple coming up. So next week we're going to be in New London on November 13th at Connecticut College. And on November 19th, we will be in Danbury. And we're partnering up with the SBDC and their Chamber of Commerce locally in Danbury to have an event where we're going to go through access to capital and talk about a very important pitch, the elevator pitch, your value proposition. So come in to the BBA. You can find us as well at www.bbusinessalliance.org. You'll find School of Rejects actually there at our events. They've come to several of them, QuickBooks, right,
Yes.
and some others. So come and network with business and organizations like them who are creative, and that's what our theme was, and you saw that with School of Rejects. Creative partnerships that talk to us about being different, how to stand out. And as entrepreneurs, we need to make sure that we're always selling our value proposition, but make sure that we're not just fitting in, but we're also fitting out. That's what's going to sell, that's what's going to market and bring revenue towards your business. So come again to www.bbusinessalliance.org so we can connect you with fantastic companies like School of Rejects, and check them out on their website, get apparel, comic books, and some of the other fun stuff that they had to show us today. So thank you again for joining us and staying with us at your lunchtime, where you were able to get a taste of another hidden gem in Connecticut, where we continue highlighting and shining dynamic duos and dynamic companies like the School of Rejects that are right here in our backyard in CT. Hope to see you next week. Again, Guilaine Menefee. I'll see you soon.